joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for this. Tell us a little about yourselves. Let's start with you, Greg.
My name's Craig Lazarus. I'm Vice President of Storytelling at ESPN, so some of the things you might have heard of Outside the Lines, the show E60, SportsCenter Featured, College Game Day, shows like that.
My name's Ben Hauser. I'm a coordinating producer at ESPN. I do a lot of the shows that Craig does, and I'm really just here because I'm a Star Wars fan, so I'm as excited as you guys. If I wouldn't be here, I'd be right out there.
Pretty much the same. Mike Chalice. I own Victory Pictures production company, and I was fortunate enough that these guys brought me in on this unbelievable project that ESPN doesn't get to do very often. So I thank them for that, and I edited the project.
I love Star Wars.
You're in the right place.
I'm Martin Kodabashian, the director of the film. I've been with ESPN for 15 years, television production for 20. These guys are like my best friends. To get to do a Star Wars documentary and have people come to watch that documentary and the way you guys are reacting and being dialed in, it's a dream come true. Thank you so much for being here.
We have certainly an amazing group up here, but what would you guys think about bringing, what if we had a special guest? Would that make you guys pretty excited? Please welcome Ray Park to the stage.
Thanks for having me. I feel lucky. How you all doing? I'm supposed to. I think I'm good with this lightsaber. How you doing? Nice to meet you. That's an awesome documentary, isn't it? I feel so lucky to be part of it, and it brought back so many memories for me. For the reasons why I got into martial arts and why I'm doing the things I'm doing now. And Star Wars changed my life as a kid when I was 8. And
yeah, Star Wars.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna start tearing up, but yeah, it brought back a lot of memories. So thanks for coming to my house, joining me in my garage, Kendo. I've always wanted to learn. I've been told by my martial arts peers, big brothers, that it's tough. It's a tough art, and I practiced Wushu in Shaolin. And I got into Shaolin because of Kung Fu movies, because of Bruce Lee, and because of Jackie Chan. Wanted to be a ninja. I was that kid that used to climb up buildings, and my mum and dad used to go, "Oh my God, Raymond!" And no joke, I was that kid. I was climbing scaffolding, and I was fearless, and we didn't have iPhones and iPads when I was a kid, or PlayStations. We had cars, we had buildings, and playgrounds, and we went out, and you saw BMX bandits, you got on your BMX, and you went and built around and tried to jump over cars and stuff. So sorry.
I bought a Darth Maul figure yesterday.
You did? Oh,
Well, you talked about learning Kendo, and that's such an important part of this documentary. And Craig, I want to ask you about, naturally when you think of ESPN, the first thing you think is not Star Wars. So how did this come together?
Yeah, I mean, the trick for us when we do stories like this is how do we make the sports connection? And we've done other movies before. Obviously, when The Force Awakens was coming out, it was a huge pop culture event. It also helps that ESPN is a part of Disney, so we were interested in doing our part.
That doesn't hurt. I mean, you got a connection.
Exactly. So we've done before in 2005, we did something on Revenge of the Sith. It was a little more tongue-in-cheek. We tried to say, is Star Wars the greatest sports movie of all time? It wasn't really that funny. We tried.
It wasn't as good. I did it.
Yeah, Ben produced it.
I'm not showing that.
So, what can we do? What can we do better? And we tell stories all the time that are kind of this much about sports, and we just try to find the sports connection. So, for this one, do we look at athletes who are huge Star Wars fans? Do we look at Star Wars nights at minor league baseball games, or those cool, funky uniforms that the minor league baseball players wear for Star Wars nights? We didn't want to do that. We wanted to do something real. So I turned to these guys who I know are huge Star Wars fans, and I said, what can we do that's real and about sports that we can tie into Star Wars?
It really starts with Martin. I think he can explain to you how this began. So
I'm going to try to sound somewhat coherent here.
You're just sitting next to Darth Maul. No big deal.
Who got emotional talking about Star Wars next to us? I'm trying to keep this together. Craig Lazarus, this project doesn't happen without Craig. Craig has been my boss, my boss's boss for the moment I walked into ESPN. And I remember getting the text, email, my wife was with me, my kids were with me. We're coming out of Disney, go figure, Hollywood Studios. My wife was right there with me. My son's name is Roman Sky. That was by accident. And he said, what's the best Star Wars piece that we can do? And do you know a producer who could do it? And the second question was a joke. And we wanted to give you guys something that was original, not something that an athlete has a collection that probably does not even compare to my own. And we found through original reporting together that Nick Gillard had mentioned kendo, and Ray Park's name comes in through the martial arts, and where's it? But Wikipedia and all these other sites never pinpointed, even with questions that we sent directly to George Lucas, what is the sport? What is the sword play? And we knew a little bit of fencing, whatnot. We discovered it was kendo. And that same year, with the act of God and through prayer, we found that the World Kendo Championships was happening that year in Japan. Went to Japan, shot the championships, immediately had to find Ray, Mark Hamill, and these guys can elaborate a little bit about that. But that was, and you saw it. I mean, you could see in their stances from the original movie. Kendo is all throughout. I'm talking to Mark Hamill, which maybe Mike can talk a little bit about, having a 45-minute conversation on the phone with Mark Hamill about his Kendo connection. We discovered it was even deeper than we thought.
And that's when it expanded, right? To go from just like kind of a feature piece to a full-length documentary.
Yes.
it did. It really started with Martin went to Japan, and we thought this would be a great piece that would connect with the films for SportsCenter, and that's why it's branded SC Feature, that's SportsCenter Featured. And from there, we realized there was just so much more, and through our fandom, and again, we're just like you guys, we're huge fans, we just sat and discussed and said, well, how can we make this thing a lot bigger? And when we did reach out, not only to Lucas, but J.W. Rinsler is the guy you saw we interviewed. He's really he's the god in terms of the history of Star Wars. And he said, boy, no one's ever done this. And it grew into, wow, we should really take a detailed look at the connection between these two things. And even when we interviewed Rinsler, he was kind of blown away. He didn't know all the things that we uncovered. And it grew into a 30-minute film, and Mark Hamill was super excited. One of the cool little facts is, leading into The Force Awakens, you didn't really see Hamill at all. Everyone said, in fact, on one day there was a newspaper that said, "Where is Luke?" in USA Today. It was on the cover of the Life section. So
you guys remember that picture that he tweeted?
some of you may have seen that on his Instagram and Twitter. It actually happened the day of our filming at the theater.
So it was these guys that took a picture of it, and I said, I know where he is.
And then he was like, I gotta send that out on my social. So it really grew into this 30-minute labor of love, lots of hours. Lucasfilm was an incredible partner. You saw all the behind-the-scenes footage. A lot of that stuff had never really been viewed before. And I know for Mike, who did a lot of the creative directing and editing for us, to have that pot of gold of the split films. If anyone knows about video production, we had the split audio from all the films, and it was amazing.
The most amazing thing I've ever seen. It's awesome.
Yes, thank you. It's awesome. The end. It is awesome. Yeah, please.
One of the best parts, as Martin was alluding to, was that when you guys were coming up with, who should narrate this thing, our wish list was like, at the top was Mark Hamill, and little did we know that this guy had an extreme passion for kendo, and he lived in Japan, and he sat with us and had conversations with us. And I'll tell you, the whole first segment really comes down to Mark's experiences and what he told us, you know, when Martin and I got to speak with him. I mean, down to the Yokohama high school where he went to school in Japan, down to, you know, the fact that he told us the story about how he thought it was Obi-Wan killed his father, you know, and then they told him after, hey, it's a little different.
Slightly different.
Yeah, so clearly we wanted to interview Mark. If we could interview him, he was our absolute first choice as the narrator.
I mean, he was unbelievable. And even when we saw him on, you know, on the shoot on that day, one of my friends makes props, and he brought the lightsaber from New Hope and Empire that you guys see in Force Awakens now and The Last Jedi. And we hadn't seen him hold a lightsaber since 1980, you know, that lightsaber. So when we handed it to him, like, he took it, and he's just so gracious and awesome. But he started like traveling back in time as he's holding this saber, and then he grips it, and he's like, I used to grip this so hard that it would slice my hand, and my hands would bleed. And I was just like, this is unbelievable. Yeah.
And the 2 days we spent with Mark, so one day was a voiceover day, one day was the day in the theater. So it was fun to see Martin, especially who's a big Star Wars fan, be able to direct Mark as Luke to say, no, I want you to hold the lightsaber like this. Yes. You know? And then one of the days we were voicing, and these guys didn't know, so we're doing the voiceovers, and Mark's in the booth, and then his cell phone rings, and he's like, oh, sorry guys, his cell phone rings, and he pulls it up, and he goes, oh, it's Carrie. And then he gets on the phone, and he's talking to her, and he's talking about, she had just been on Good Morning America, and he's like, oh, I love that bit with you and Gary, and can I borrow him sometime?
That's when he fell asleep, right?
Yeah.
He fell asleep during the interview with Gary.
So obviously, with the martial arts connection, Mark Hamill is Luke Skywalker. I mean, even Ray will tell you, you know, Mark is important. But the most crucial interview, honestly, in my opinion, not because he's sitting next to me, was Ray.
Yeah, please tell us, Ray, how the phone call, how you got involved.
So I was chasing Ray, metaphorically, figuratively, literally, for months. And working with his agent, obviously Ray has stuff to do with his family and his life. I finally told these guys, I think Ray Park wants to do this. And we were so happy. We were at Lucasfilm filming. We were going to go see Ray the next day. And Ray had some obligations that he couldn't get out of the next day. And I was devastated. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if we're going to get Ray. Stay positive, use the Force. Stay positive, use the Force. Let me tell you something about Ray Park. The emotion he showed, the fact that he's here, the fact that he signs autographs, the fact that he just asked me where my son is, where my family is, I'm going to get emotional talking about it, because Ray, despite going through all the stuff that he was going through and had to deal with everything, still made the time, and the day we're done shooting with Mark Hamill, calls me, personally calls me on my cell phone, not through his agent, extremely apologetic, saying, I'm so sorry I screwed up your shooting plans. If there's any possible way I can still be in the documentary, I'd love to do it. I was completely humbled, mind blown. Sure, Ray. Whatever you want. And he did it, and he's here, and he's been signing autographs all convention long. He's been doing it. And a genuine appreciation for all you guys in the lines, every single person with kids, adults, no matter what age, gender, race, you are extraordinarily an unbelievable human being. You guys see it on his Instagram, you guys see it on his Twitter. The guy liked 4 of my pictures this morning. Ray Park.
That's the reason why you like me, Nate.
Well, I have 800 followers. I mean, it's growing as we speak.
I love you because I love the fact that your wife and you do marriage.
Wait a minute.
I was thinking about my wife because she's a super fit woman and she does, you know, Spartan races and Tough Mudders, and you guys are so super fit as well, and I love following that, and you do things as a family, and I like to see that, you know, you guys are awesome too, and I like following positive people, and whenever I, you know, show anything on Instagram, it keeps me positive as well, And if I can show positive stuff and it inspires anyone and it makes you get out there and slice up some lemons with a stick or a and use the force, you know, it's a good thing, because Star Wars did change my life. And not because I'm in it, and I can't believe that. I still say, I was 22, can you believe that? And I look at those videos and you can see I was 22 and I'm like, what did you see? You know, like, I'm working with these professional actors, experienced, seasoned actors, and I'm this little geezer, you know what I mean? I'm from London. You know, I'm doing wushu, yeah, I love wushu. And trying to work on the voice as I'm getting older. I don't smoke, so it's not getting any deeper. And so yeah, I just feel very lucky to be part of it, but Star Wars did change my life, and I always say Empire Strikes Back is my favorite because that's, I'm watching the documentary, but now I know why, because that's when you see Luke finally with the lightsaber. And in the first movie, you know, he's a Jedi, and you want to see the Jedi go. You want to see them move and actually do it. And when I was 8, they showed New Hope and Empire was like, yep. And I've said this a million times. I asked my dad, he's an electrician, I said, Dad, can you make me a lightsaber? He goes, Raymond, I can do a lot of things, but I can't do that. Just before we have all these fantastic toys, you know, as grown-ups. That's why you see all of us 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, you know, loving going to Toys R Us and buying toys just for the sake of it. You know, our kid's only 6 months old. We're buying toys that are 10 years old. You know?
I don't have any kids, and I feel like
So thank you for having me involved. That's an awesome documentary. It brought back so many memories and reasons and answers to why I do what I do as a kid.
I'll say the fact that you are an athlete and you're an incredibly talented athlete, that comes across on the screen. I mean, that's not just choreography, that is athleticism. Those are all the things that you brought. And that's why when we all discuss this, clearly Luke and Mark Hamill are the face, at least of the original trilogy for many of us. But I think when the prequels came out, it was really a lot about you. I think for many people and how they feel.
You know, I was in when I look back on it now, I was in my prime. I remember my dad telling me before I had kids, I'd reached 30. He was like, that's it, you know. You're going to be the strongest in your life for the next 5 years. Make the most of it. Grab everything you get. Go for that. I remember that 31, 32. This is still hard. Training's still hard. When am I going to get that superpower he's talking about? You get it when your kids are born. You know, you become Superman. And being on that is just, I could have done anything. I grew up with movies, you know, like if you said, jump on your head, spin, do a break dance, flip, run up the wall, yeah, I would have done it. Now I go, how much complaining I'm going to do to my wife and kids after this? So it's a little different now. They're right there, my family's right there. You guys want to come on stage? Say hi. Thank you.
we're going to, speaking of calling us audience members, we have time for a few questions. So if you have